My Gavanen Melodine, and well met indeed. I am Arche Galadirth, and the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer. And welcome back to Divide and Conquer, as we continue on as the High Elves. Now, the previous two High Elves episodes have been some of the most commented on videos I have ever put on the channel, so give yourselves a round of applause, because that is damned fantastic. The reason, however, that it's most commented is not necessarily because of a good thing, but rather because of my decision-making. As playing as the High Elves. I don't think really any of you are particularly on board with my method of playing, and indeed it's elicited laughs. Some people absolutely dumbfounded as to how one can play so damned atrociously as the Elves. So I did think, first of all, I need to just clear some things up. First of all, Gildor was not actually a custom general. So yes, he had a custom name, but he was not a custom unit type, so I didn't really care that we lost him, to be honest. Elrond and Círdan are custom, and when the twins join us in approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, or 6 turns as it will be, they're custom as well, but Gildor is not. So I'm not too concerned about that. Now, many of you have suggested that what I should have done, and when I say many of you, I mean almost everyone, which, to be honest, just makes me feel more resolute in the decisions I did take. Because almost all of you said, oh, I should have stayed in Imladris, I never should have trained any troops, we should have sat in Imladris and only utilised units that gave free upkeep. We should have increased Imladris' ability for free upkeep. And in the west, I should have pulled all my units together and taken Gildor's Rest and then Basradum and gotten mines as fast as possible. Everybody's focus was absolutely and unanimously that I should not have left Imladris. I should have stayed there and waited, get this, about 20 to 25 turns before ever leaving Imladris. And I appreciate that if you are going for the min-max victory, or indeed you just particularly want to make a surefire victory, then yes, that is absolutely the way to do it. But I, for one, find that really boring, and I apologise, but I am not going to do that. There was overwhelming call that I should start this again, because many of you think that I've actually lost this campaign already, despite us only being 16 turns in. Many people think that this campaign is done, we're going to die, and there's nothing that can be done about that. And I do chuckle a little at that, because I think that's a bit extreme. I can appreciate our losses over in the west were folly and foolish, and unnecessary as well. But do note that the elves do train a little bit quicker than you may remember in your games in version 3. Also note that at the moment, whilst we are now only making about 1,200 odd gold per turn, I will now take Elrond back a bit, and I will focus a little bit on economy, whilst we have this downtime in there being no troops to train. But I'm afraid that I do play very gung-ho. And that is just something you'll have to accept. I appreciate my command on the battlefield is often rather lacking. And I have a very blasé attitude to the life and lives of my generals and my men. And as the High Elves, another comment that was liked greatly, or even repeated many times, was that as the High Elves, Galu, you simply cannot play this with a trash mentality. Every single unit is going to count and matter. And whilst I do appreciate that is indeed accurate, it's not to say that you have to play every single battle in that way.
Yes, my lord.
So the moral of the story is that I'm going to continue playing as the High Elves in very much the way that I am playing as them now, and I will focus a little bit on economy whilst we can, although I am going to pull Elrond back, as many of you did suggest. I will pull him back to Imladris itself, because even I can see, obviously, we don't have the troops over here at the moment to actually do anything of real damage. But otherwise, I will continue to be a little more aggressive than I would have been at the start. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a slog from here on out. If I had played by just staying in Imladris and never leaving, never attacking anyone, then from what I've read from the beta testers, and from my own understanding of how Moria have been set up, it would have been a campaign where almost every turn of the 20 to 25 turns of economy gathering, we would have been attacked in Imladris many, many times. And, oh, did we attack them? Oh, bugger, we did, didn't we? Yeah, foolish. And I just don't. I'm just not down for that. I am terribly sorry. So for good or for ill, I'm going to plough on, and I'm certain of our victory, to be honest. And those of you who aren't certain of our victory, well then, I don't know what to suggest. I mean, if you aren't behind your leader, absolutely 100%, despite the good and bad things he does, then what are you? I mean, to turn to a great man of our time, Donald Trump, of course, if you're not with him, you're totally against him, and in his eyes, are basically traitorous. So, I mean, if I were to take him as a global leader and base my attitude on that, then all I see from your copious comments are traitors. Disloyal traitors. I jest, of course, that entirely was sarcasm. But I do appreciate that I have played a little too brazen with my troops, and I will try to do better in the battles. But I'm not just going to sit in Imladris and wait. This campaign is very much... I said this in the Discord, and Brasidas laughed at me. But I did say this is very much a sort of stress test, if you will. Most of the people that have played as the High Elves for us in the beta group have played it that, dare I say, boring way of quite simply sitting in Imladris, building up your economy in Linden, and then when you've got enough troops, attacking from Imladris. And to all of that's how they're all swimming in money or whatnot. And also, I should say, swimming in money in this instance means about making about 2,000 a turn with about 10,000 in the bank. Which, to be honest, I mean, I appreciate I'm awful with economy and I'm passing awful judgment. But to me, that isn't swimming in money. That's just with a sizable and decent amount of money. Swimming in money, I would have thought, would be more like earning about 5,000 gold a turn. You know? So... Also, how poor is your range? Goodness gracious. The one thing I will take away from the comments, absolutely, and will definitely work toward, is to not send my archers into melee, because they are too important as archers, as you have all said. I take that point, and I will adapt and overcome. I also do need to be a bit more strategic, I suppose, with how and when we deploy our units, and where and what we do with them. Attack those so the javelins don't shoot you. Come in on those orc fighters. So that's my thinking over your comments. I am overwhelmed by the number of comments, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a genuinely good way. My absolutely awful playing aside, which I've tried to cover up rather probably unsuccessfully these past 10 minutes, but my rather poor play style aside, I am absolutely thrilled that this many of you are still engaged with Divide and Conquer, and you want to play it, you want to see it, and I'm pleased at that. So we as modders are achieving our goals, I suppose, rather well. Another question that I've seen posed is, hang on, hasn't he been massively nerfed? And the story of Elrond is that originally he had a pike unit, Imladris Guard I think they were called, and he was very, very powerful with a pike unit. But the problem with the pikes was that because the power ability, and this is Medieval's fault, there's nothing unfortunately that we can do about it, but because the power ability overrides the unit's special ability, when he was a pike unit, he would start the game in pike wall, and you would not be able to tell him to go out of pike wall.
The enemy general lies
because
dead.
You couldn't use that command along with the other command. Like, you couldn't do pike wall and power of the other at once. So we thought we'd change him up, and we wanted to also give him archers to make him a bit more useful in city defenses. So you could use someone else to hold the line, and he will mow the enemy down with arrow after arrow after arrow. So that was why he was changed. Originally, he had a unit called Noldorin Guard, a simply named unit but very powerful one, and he and the twins both had it. But it was very, 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 very powerful, and we also wanted to make sure that Elrond had his own unique voice.
This is a clear victory.
So Elrond now has a standalone unit, so he has his own voice, and the twins were converted to cavalry archers, but then they have also since been changed to Dunedain bodyguards to denote the link between the elves and the Dunedain. Some people really don't like this. They think elven units should have elven bodyguards, but I mean, come on. You get Círdan with Mithlond nobles, you get Elrond with Gil-galad's company, which is now one of the best archers in the game. You get Gildor at game start with High Elven Bodyguard. Dawn and Austin comes later on if you go for the Austin Ethiel. If you get that script, he comes with Smiths of Eregion. So you're not wanting for powerful generals. So we didn't really feel that it was necessary for the twins to be then some super amazing cavalry unit. The game, for all of my failings here with the High Elves, I'm not joking, we almost certainly will still win this. Even if Imladris falls, Linden is so safe, we have no risk of losing this campaign. Alright, we might get a setback with losing Imladris, and if you consider losing Imladris as losing the campaign, excuse me, sorry, then yes, we will lose. Or we might lose. Trying to catch me out. But we definitely won't lose the campaign. The High Elves is one of the simpler ones. And which I know many of you are now banging your head against the screen saying, how can you call this one of the simpler ones when you have played so terribly? But honestly, it is. We want mines, you've all told me, and yeah, that's not too bad, is it? 525 gold coins. It costs 3,600 gold coins to build, which means it's roughly 7-ish turns to pay itself off. Well, I think it might just be 6. I can't be bothered to do that in my head at the moment. It's between 6 and 7 turns to pay itself off and then start earning money. So I suppose that is a good bet. We can save up and get that. We should be able to get that on the next turn. We will go out from the east, and I will send Círdan, I think, to assist in taking Basradum and then send him back. Something else that was pointed out to me, and obviously because in this one all of the reward units that we get for missions are all boats, which is absolutely garbage, it is going to be better to turn this back into our capital. And we instantly make an extra about 1,000 gold coins by changing that to be our capital. So that was folly. Well, I mean, actually, the basis behind it wasn't folly. We would have had our units spawn over in Imladris, but because our units are just boats, it doesn't mean anything. So it makes sense to move it back to Mythlond. Something else that I have done is fixed the music. Now, I know that there was some music playing in the first 2 episodes, but for whatever reason, some of them weren't, and I managed to fix that. There was problems with certain files not being up to date. And the music that you're going to hear whenever the end turn goes will sound remarkably similar to Lord of the Rings music, but it subtly isn't, and thus is actually
yes, my lord.
Royalty-free. That's not the word I mean, is it? It'll play on YouTube without any trouble. And so I'm very pleased with that. Can any of you lower you? Yes, you can retrain. Perfect. Did we get our mines queued up? Yes, we did.
Elven warriors.
Yes,
I'm pulling those guys back because we can get free upkeep here, and we can definitely devote 1 turn to get that. So you and you, and then those 2 units will be free when that finishes. Do you get mines? No, you do not. Forlorn, do you get mines? No, you don't. Does Imladris get mines? Yes, and it makes less, considerably less, and it costs more, considerably more. How much money are we actually making? 4,000. I would quite like an armory. No, I wouldn't. I'd like the Master Builder's Hall because it reduces the time and the cost, particularly in Imladris. We'll get one for Imladris. Troops are moving back into position, and we are taking a brief respite as we retrain these forces. You can retrain. I want to retrain those, but I can't at the moment. But we have plenty of troops. Like, no one's going to take Imladris. You haven't seen yet, actually, but you will, because we'll definitely be attacked there once. But Imladris, something I've actually been holding on to, a bit of a secret for you, I can all let you into now. Imladris has a new custom battle map, based on the design from the Battle for Middle-earth series. RK created it. It looks fantastic. And this is only an alpha version that you're going to see when we get attacked in Imladris here, though. So it is subject to change. So do note that. Oh, they got 6 turns. They got 10 turns. Bloody hell. How much have we got now? 4,000. Ah, Imladris is building its thing. Zagkala. You can retrain. I'm not sure why, but you can. Ah, Master Blazer Guild, yes. Melee weapon bonus. You can get mines, and are also useless to us. How much money did I say? 3,800. A low tax rate over here in Gildor's Rest, yeah. Mythlond is building. We've got 5 turns till that will do anything. Ah, you 2 need to train, so that's 2,000. So we've only got 1,000 to play with. Merchant's Wharves would be useful. These two places have the potential to earn money. We're going to say, I don't know. I'm tempted to go with that because I think it improves food production also, if memory serves. Increases population growth. Yes, we'd get an extra 0.5%, and it's got a bloody long way to go. So I will happily take that. Zagkala will not be able to train anything for a long time. So there we are. We'll get the twins shortly as well, and when the twins come, we'll go on some orc raiding. So unfortunately, despite my saying I don't want to sit in Imladris and do sod all, here I am now sitting in Imladris doing bloody sod all. But at least we've got Zagkala. And goblins are seeing to it that we may not even have that long. You damned gobbos!
This is our last stand, my friend.
Oh dear. I was so pleased to read through all the comments on the last 2 episodes, and I chuckled so much at how many of you are so shocked is the word I suppose I would use, at how awful I am at this. Because I don't think I'm that bad. Why are the Linden Longspear units not having free upkeep? Ah, because we only get 1 free upkeep slot here. Jesus. So the Hall of Music in Mythond is going to be high on our agenda. Although no, because we want Buzzradum because we want it for the mines. Making a 3 there. That's building as hoped. What unit did go in there in the end? Oh, no, that's a good unit to have in there actually. Right. Now, have you got any retraining that you can do? Yes, nice. I'll tell you what. I will take those cavalry units actually. And when you're complete, I will go with the Hall of Culture before we go with the mines, because Imladris is going to be a training centre, so we do need some troops there that will do. That will train. Ah, you're pathetically small. You're an archer unit. No, you're not. You're both melee. What are we up against?
Stick you.
Do you think?
I'm gonna stick you.
No. Oh, they take 3 turns to build up. Let's leave it as that for the moment. Oh, damn it! And Tirthuin has fallen to the. Oh, come on, the Dunedain. You've got to hold up your end of the bargain. As regards the actual recording schedule, I'm thoroughly enjoying High Elves at the moment, so you'll probably get High Elves for a while. I am going to do a lore video this weekend, and it's going to be the first one with a script. I started writing the script today, and I'm already very much on board with the script idea. I was able to thoroughly improve upon even just the beginning part of what I was saying into my mind, so I'd be interested to hear what you guys all think when you hear the first scripted one.
Yes.
Ah, there we are.
Without
right,
question.
so the twins will come in 1 turn, and then they will assist us. Let's send some troops over to take the 2 generals.
Sire, over here, elves. Scatter them.
Because neither of you are free anyway, are you? So, another unit's training. 2 turns until that finishes. Harlon's got 1. Oh, they take 3 turns to train. Goodness gracious, it's bloody ridiculous. You guys are sitting in there not earning me any money. How much does it earn if Kierdan comes out? Oh, it drops by 300 gold coins. How much do you actually cost? 850! Are you...
Over here, elves.
Goodness, he's definitely not coming out of there then. He's going to stay in there. But I can't send the troops really on their own without a general. We do need to kill Peter Jackson as well. Although he's only got crappy units, actually, I realise now. Because that was another comment that some people mentioned, is I should try and kill all the bandit units as much as possible, because devastation is a thing, and they are taking, no matter how small, they are taking some money away from us. So we need to focus on stopping them doing that. And how much do you guys change if I swap you to low? About 50, no, about 60, isn't it? Yeah, we'll go to low. Get the population growth.
Elves.
Yeah, we should get the twins now. There won't be an image for the twins, annoyingly, because I thought I'd gotten UI for them, but apparently I hadn't, and so they don't have any images, which is annoying. I thought I'd done all those little minor bits. Nothing worse than when you're playing a mod and everything seems fine, and you think, "Oh, this is so good. This could be almost like the actual game." And then boom, something pops up and you think, this is a mod. And those lacking of UI images is one such thing.
Evil must not be allowed to triumph this day.
Text errors is another big thing. Whenever you see spelling mistakes or improper use of plurals or things like that, that always gets you. You always think, yes, this is a mod.
Appear to be gaining the upper hand in this battle.
Right, this time we aren't going to shield wall by the gate. We're going to let the buggers come in. And then we're going to rush them from either side. And RK, the god of life and death, and he who provides in these dark times, and one of our modders, has said he will put some towers in the entranceway to Zagkala, which is just marvellous. It always used to bother me particularly with Leo's custom settlements, which are most of the custom settlements in the game now. Almost none of them have custom towers, because for some bizarre reason, he decided never to put towers in them. I just can't fathom why he thought that was the better way to do it. But you have this absolutely excellent death trap situation where all you need is a tower there that they can't get, but you can.
The enemy are battering down our gates.
That they can't get, and we can. I realise you can't see my cursor still, can you? All you need is a tower here on the cliff to the left, where cannot move here as the path is obstructed.
The enemy's ram has breached the gates.
And you'd get excellent kills with your tower.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
Go! We only lost a few. Dunedain actually attack them. There we are. You still can't see my cursor. Nvidia updated today, just before I recorded this. I got another update to the graphics, to the driver. And yet you still cannot see my cursor. I mean, if you can, and I'm lying, then brilliant. But when I did a test before I recorded this, I couldn't see my cursor. So I doubt that you can. And this has been like 3 to 4 weeks now without a cursor. I don't know what is wrong with Nvidia. Like, sort your lives out, mate. Bloody annoying. But anyway, as I was saying, Gildor has the standard bodyguard unit, and this is they, Calaquendi Lords. They are just Mythlon nobles, but slightly better, but fewer in number. Also, coming to a Divide and Conquer game near you, I've recently spoke about the Relentless trait, meaning that a unit cannot be staggered, and that at the moment it is only applied to two-handed units. Well, that is set to change. Then we have now had the animation apply to single one-handed units as well. So soon enough, various one-handed units will not be staggered either. And I think Calaquendi Lords maybe were one such suggested unit. So, also, provided our general here doesn't die in the heat of battle, wherever our general is, press the delete key and it will center you on him. There he is, the only one in gold armor. We can zoom in and look a bit closer now. There he is. As long as he doesn't die, this is definitely in the bag. Calaquendi Lords are mighty, a formidable
Our army
unit.
is tiring.
And 50% of them have gone
Are
down.
badly bloodied. They have lost half their
A
men.
much better tactic. We've recaptured the gate and they're routing, and they've bugged out, haven't they? Because there's a unit out there that hasn't attacked us. Yes. Are you coming now? Now that it's all over? Ah, yes, there you go. Here they come. Alright. Alrighty. They're going to come in and they're going to want to go for the general, almost certainly. So let's pull him at the back there. And you guys come over here. And then if you could, I'd really love it if you then now hid. Are you able to do that in a city? I don't think they are in cities, actually. Alright, everyone catch your breath. Take a few moments.
Be quick.
They are going for the town square. Oh dear. Well, they've sealed their fate. They're never going to get the town square. This is just the AI doing its absolute best to hand us the victory.
Battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as such.
Because they get broken up when they do this, and then you can just pick them off one by one.
Cast them back into the earth. I will be your guide. Our enemy has command of the castle. The enemy is no longer in command of the castle.
Oh no, that was awful.
If we continue like this, we will smash them.
There you go, hit them
Our
there.
men have slain the enemy.
Ah, the enemy general. It's only a
Without him,
seconds
it's
now.
to behold
Seconds!
how our cowards
Capture as many as you can!
It's time to press the attack.
I absolutely love that the High Elves have Dunedain units in amongst them. It's
enemy are
just
utterly
good,
vanquished.
isn't it?
This is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals.
Thank you, narrator. That's one person on my side. The other thing, of course, is that in the past 2 episodes, I routinely display my utter stupidity again, in that I keep forgetting that the brackets that you see underneath casualties sustained If there's a number in there that's not 0, that is friendly fire. There is an entire column to the right called Casualties Healed, where you see 10 Dunedain Wardens healed. That column is the one that matters for Casualties Healed, obviously, and the brackets, or parenthesis, as many of you say, is for friendly fire. Excellent kill tally there for the Calaquendi Lord. Of course, bodyguards can take as many losses as they like. As long as the general doesn't die, we will revisit the death and destruction felt upon us to our enemies, because they will auto-respawn. So, there we are. There were quite a few comments of people saying that they must be really out of the loop, because the last time they checked, Linden and Imladris were separate nations. And, yeah, I mean, yes, it was spoken of in a couple of developer diaries some time ago, but really, yeah, if you miss those developer diaries, you would be out of the loop. So the twins return. Ignore the bold monk. Put your hand over the screen. Don't look at the picture. It has taken quite some months for the message of our summons to filter out amongst the Dunedain and find the twins, but it is now done. Eladan and Elrahir have returned to serve once more, with a small contingent of Dunedain in tow. Smashing. Right, what do we want to do here? We don't really want... Oh, hang on, have you got more than one free upkeep? No. Oh, yes, you have. Perfect.
Follow me.
Which one is the worst general? No, they're both about the same. Celion, you go to Zagkala, and that's another unit free upkeep. And what's your name? Uteradian, you go back to Imladris, which is now a turn away from getting our Hall of Culture. But the twins join us, Lord Eladan, our faction heir, with Dunedain bodyguards, as I've already warned you all. But remember, before you go throwing your rattles out the pram, Dunedain bodyguards are armor-piercing with both their arrows and their melee weapons. They are a really good bodyguard unit, and they will help immensely. And given how many generals we've got in the east, I am going to send Elrahir west. He's going to lead our Gildor crusade, if you will, and claim back what is rightfully ours. And here comes the goblins. Right, Eladan. I know that Camath Bryn obviously hasn't fallen yet, and High Chieftain Uglak is just knocking around in the middle of nowhere doing soddle. I'd quite like you to just go to there for now, sit in the trees, then we'll go to the bridge, and then we'll get you back to Imladris. Oh, look, the cavalry unit's ready. And we've got 2 more cavalry units, and if we link them up with that Dunedain scout unit, we'll have a nice little cavalry force.
Your orders.
We want to go to Enedwythe and get trade rights and sell map information along the way.
To deal with you, trusted friends.
How about 1,000 for what I know? How does that take you? Oh yes.
This seems until we meet again.
Cheers, babes. Right, on to Enedwythe then. Where's the nearest point of Enedwythe's contact? Erun Vaughan. Hit us up over there.
I shall continue tomorrow.
The Northern Dunedain like me for basically extorting them. But whatever floats their boat, you know, I'm on board. Anyway, not building something, because we've got shed loads of money now, so let's do that. You don't make any money, you don't make any money. I'd quite like, to be honest, to get something like the Merchant's Wharf or the roads. And we can do that if we go another turn. Shipwright gives trade fleets, increase in trade riggers. That gives trade fleets and an extra 100 gold. Yeah, get one of them. 6,000, 4,000, so we're only making 2,000, but that thing costs how much? 4,950. So you've got another 1,000 forlord. If you've got something that costs 1,000, you can go for it. You don't really, do you? I tell you what, instead, because you are going to be economic money makers, you build me that one now, and you build me that one on the next turn. Is that as high? Is that the? No, it's only tier 2. That's all right. That'll work. You guys aren't free upkeep at the moment anyway, and you won't be for some time, so you may as well head for Basradum. And Elrahir, if you also just carve straight for Basradum.
Yes, my lord.
Our Diplo's going to Enedwythe, and everything seems well with the world. Oh, you can build as well. Get a builder's hall, leather tanner. Leather tanner's 40 gold. Take 20 turns to pay itself off. We could chuck in an art studio, or we could just use the 1,000 that we've got. Ah, no, but then we're not building anything. That's going to be 360. It would be a bit less than 360. Nah, we'll just end the turn. Let's see what the Gobbos do. They've stayed still. They've moved a bit, but not wholly. Very well. But now we've got our force in Imladris, which just simply will not die. Whatever they throw at us, we'll be able to hold off there. And we've managed to take Zagkala. We've got forces moving in the west. I mean, I was surprised at the naysaying and the doomsday prophecies from many of you, actually, when reviewing my progress in the mod. So I thought, to be honest, I'm not doing that badly. You might as well just get one of those for now. 2,000. What just built that meant that we didn't get the money we thought we were going to... Ah, no, of course, Eladan and Elrahir joined us. And so now we get considerably less money.
For the light.
So we need Basildom, and we need it sharpish. Ah, no, Forlorn built, didn't it? Of course, Forlorn built. Ignore me, they were counted into our economic foresight.
Yes, my lord. Without question. Tomorrow's journey planned out.
See, this is what I mean. This is what I dislike about the just camp in Imladris and build up the west, because it just means you just end turn, end turn, end turn, end turn. And it's just not... In the earlier stages of the game, I mean, make no mistake, as I've said many times before, I prefer the campaign management side of the game. So you'd think sitting in Imladris and building up the west would be my preferred method. And it is in the later stages of the game. But in the earlier stage, when end turns last longer than your actual turn, I do like to throw battles in there just to really spice it up. So that I'm not just sitting doing sod all.
Come, my brothers. Over here, elves.
We are on the way to doing action, aren't we? So
Swiftly.
he is now only 4 turns away from Basildom, or 5 to actually attack it. We've got 2 units free over there. Círdan is free and will remain in Mithlond where he stays free. Ah, the goblins are coming. The goblins have great force. Huge numbers. I fear now may well be the time for Zagkala to fall and to pass back to the enemy. Because we can't hold that off. Pulling them out will unfortunately lose us money.
Come, my brothers.
Something we could do, and many of you will absolutely disagree with my plan of action, but I'm going to do it anyway, because why the hell bloody not? Leave behind those 8 of them.
Over here, Avatate, sire. Elves.
And hit the buggers. And then we get to see our lords in action. Captain Nagug does not even have a general. There's 1 unit of wargs. Otherwise, it is just hordes and hordes of snagger trash. I've already saved it, but we'll save it again, and we'll go for it. Now, this time, we've got 3 units of cavalry. Another comment that was made was about training cavalry in Mithlond, and this is something that may not really be well known at the moment. But cavalry... for the High Elves now is only available from the Noldor barracks. The Teleri do not give any cavalry until after the barracks event. So before the barracks event, the only way you're going to get cavalry is to get Ost in Ethil, which unlocks the Noldor barracks. So Mithlond will not get cavalry. Obviously, Imladris starts with a Noldor barracks, hence why I've been able to train cavalry from there. But other than the Dunedain, which are only available in various places, in few and far between places, the only cavalry you will get is from Imladris, unless you can take Ostin Ethil or the barracks event has passed. Right, you two. Horse archers. We're not going to stand. Oh, we attacked them though, didn't we? So we have got to walk towards them. So you might as well just all stand in a line for now. No, in case they get any ideas and come for us, which they do appear to be doing. So get him to run. Don't do that. Come out of that. Don't do that. Come out of that. Also run. Right, all of you and you are going to group together. Shift 1. Going to stand on this hill. Oh no, stand on this hill. There, like that. Yeah, perfect. Cavalry that will fire arrows. get yourselves out into the field already. You will be needed. You will rain fiery, furious hell down upon our foes. Melee forces, come and stand in a long, thin line. You're going to hold. And then cavalry, you are going to get so many kills today, it's not even going to be funny. Run yourselves over there. And there they are. Amanyar Riders. Our first proper heavy-hitting cavalry puncher. They will do wonders this day. Where's that other one? There we are. You are running, aren't you? No, you've stood still. Brilliant, brilliant. Right, you and you and you. Group together. Shift 1. Move towards our enemy. And fire arrows if you can. That would be brilliant. The rangers are going. Move in on those wild riders. Shoot them. Oh, they're shooting back. What's that unit? Snagger archers. We'll just give them some move commands. Just get them to run backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And then they will be less likely to be shot by the enemy. I've moved them in too close. 13% of the enemy has died before we've engaged in combat. Lord Eladan is here. Which one is he actually? I can't remember. Elrahir, sorry. There he is. And there's his Dunedain bodyguard with their steel bows. The heritage of Numenor fires on the field this day. And our enemies will know vengeance. They will know defeat, and they will taste the utter bitterness of it. And our cavalry archers will shortly run out of arrows, which is perfect, because then they can also charge, which is what we need to happen here, really. They have so many mass units. Keep up all the fire, all the fire.
If we continue like this,
Go, hit
we
them.
will smash the enemy.
You guys both hit them. And they're routing, and they're routing, and everyone's routing, and it's a routing party. Go, 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 go. You're so much faster than Wogs. Shut them down before they get a charge off. Oh, the delete key, by the way. I know it sounds like that's a joke, but the delete key is the way to follow a unit into battle and to follow arrows. That's how you do it. You just click on the unit you want to follow and press the delete key. And then you can chase it around wherever you like. Ah, look, you guys, go and capture those routing snagger. How'd you do against the Wogs? Absolutely
Our men
shut
have
them
slain
down.
the enemy general.
Enemy
Without him,
captains
his troops
down.
will lose their will to fight.
Snagger stalkers, snagger archers, they're going to rout straight away. Of course they are. There they go. Come over here and hit these. Oh, that unit over there turned. Oh no, they're going. They are going. Follow them out. Capture
Only
what you
half
can.
the enemy force remains.
Cavalry. Oh, I let the enemy get to you. Pull out, pull out, pull out. Keep firing, keep firing. You guys go and hit them. You guys are still capturing anything that's routing over there. Curl in. You guys get that band to break. The Dunedain will get out their armor-piercing axes and absolutely make mincemeat of that goblin band. Pull out, pull out. Get them, lads. There were 208. They've broken instantly, and there are now 140-ish. So 60 in the charge. And take those down. Pull out of that. Charge into them. Charge into them. Charge into them. This battle is over. We just need the enemy to know it.
Behold how our cowardly foe
Keep it up.
runs. It's time to press the attack.
Cease fire. Cease fire. Capture what you can. We want as many of these boogers. I don't think you're going to get over there, but try. See, now, the Cavalry has absolutely done a huge number on them, and we shall see when the actual victory stats come through just how impressive and important they were to this victory. I think we can call it there.
This is a
54 elves died, 2,607. Now, I'm not going to claim that's any great achievement, as the game is even telling me your units are so good, Gallo, that even that is only a clear victory and not a heroic one. And the Cavalry got Emmanuel Rangers, 375. Dunedain Scouts, 348. Emmanuel Riders, only 81, sadly. Dunedain Scouts, 383. So, we're looking at, what? 400-ish, about just shy of half our enemy was killed by cavalry alone. Now imagine if that cavalry was auto-replenishing and led by a very powerful general, which also increases their combat effectiveness. So a 1.5 times as good cavalry unit that also replenished on its own by merely being out in the wilderness. And that's the reason why we took it away from the Eladant and Elrahir. Many of you will have known, if you've followed along with the mod for a long time now, that we have a sort of war, if you will, against cavalry bodyguards. And we've been trying to do away with them wherever we can. And it is no different for the twins and their entourage. Now, we are not going to make money with the army out, but also I don't want to lose Dag Kala. I know it's not earning us any money, and it's strategically not that important to hold.
Follow me.
So I will leave. If the orcs go for it, I will send Elrond over to take it. But look, the cavalry can all go back into Imladris and give us 1 turn of free upkeep. That at least earns us the money.
Sire,
So can he.
Elves.
The orcs can get us, but we can always retreat to Imladris, so I don't think they will come for us. So all in all, that's gone rather bloody well. If you'll pardon my French, if you consider bloody a swear word.
Yes, I shall continue.
But I think
tomorrow.
that is where I'm going to end this episode. So I hope you can agree with me, to be honest. And if you can't, well, so be it. I'm sure I'll still win. And if I don't win, then my brazen and misplaced overconfidence will guide me to enjoyment no matter what. But I'm sure and hope that you can agree with me that this campaign is far from lost, and you don't have to sit in Imladris for the first 20 turns in order to actually win. You don't need it to be a dull slog through the hordes of the goblins. It can be battles out in the field. Take the fight to them. Now, we're only 24 turns in. We've only taken Dag Kala and killed them a few times in the field, but I stand by that. And I think we will see some excellent results. The problem will come if Angmar get involved, because they now have this gap in the mountains they can go through, which brings them into the southern theatre a lot quicker than it did before. And also, I was hoping to attack Enid Wythe, if I'm honest, but I'm not sure we can raise their ire just yet. But for now, that is going to conclude this episode. So do be sure to check out Gamesplanet in the link below. But otherwise, until we speak again, dear friends, and if I are den perabad melonin, and farewell.